Joined by Sports Director Matt McCoy. And on the live line right now, one of our faves, coached at a high level. I mean, basically, Coach Matta, it's really you and Fred Taylor and all the rest, if you're just practical about coaching at Ohio State. Is that fair?
No, that's not fair.
It's not fair. Come on. You're the wins leader. You're going into the Athletic Hall of Fame in about a month. My money's on you all day.
Well, I appreciate the compliment. No doubt about that.
Well, before we start talking about TBT and all your guys really going deep, how's life? What are you up to these days?
Actually, I was telling Matt when we were setting this up on a little vacation down in Florida, having a cup of coffee with my wife, looking into the Gulf of Mexico right now, and our youngest daughter's getting ready to go to college, so we've got her and a friend down here, and kind of their last go around before they head to school.
Sounds like your life is pretty good. I got to ask because you've got that coach's eye, Jared Sullinger. You think he's got any future in the coaching realm?
No doubt about it. I mean, it's funny because I can remember, I think it was Jared's second game at Ohio State. We were playing down in Gainesville, and I think they were number 4 in the country. We were number 6, and it was the second game of the season, and there was a timeout that happened, and Jared comes over and he says, "Hey, Coach, run 4 stay." He goes, "I'll still off. David Lighty will shoot a layup." I said, "Okay." So sure enough, next play, he stills the guy in the post. Dave goes in, shoots a layup, and I'm like, "Hey, he's got a pretty good eye for the game of basketball."
Well, he was trained well by his dad. Satcho is a pretty good coach himself. So
no question about that. No, it definitely runs in the family there, and it's ironic because he had we had talked during the season this year when he was in China, and he said, "Hey, I gotta make sure I finish my degree because I definitely want to go into coaching," which is a great thing. I said, "You could have stayed 2 more years and got your degree."
That would have been nice, wouldn't it?
Right.
That's right.
Right. Then you wouldn't have to worry about it.
That's right. Hey, how fun is this for you just to watch these guys? They've been doing it the last couple of years. This year, they're all the way into the championship game. Hopefully, they win it tonight. But just to see that core group of guys, Jared coaching, Evan Turner coaching, and Kraft, Lighty, Diebler, Buford, that's got to be fun for you.
It really is. And Matt, I'll say this. I think probably the greatest thing for me, not just watching these guys, but getting to spend some time with them. Last Thursday, we went up. I got kidnapped with Aaron and John, and they came back after the game and spent the night at my house. And but being in the hotel with the guys the night before the game, the maturity, they become men, and from Aaron talking about his son Owen, and John has twins on the way, Jared has twins on the way, William's got his son, LaQuentin Ross has got 2 children now. John and Aaron complaining about owning homes now and all the things that go into it. And John says, "I was on a ladder the other day fixing a gutter," and I'm like, you know what? They've grown up. They took the experience, but then you watch them play, and they still have the same passion, the same fire, and I don't know. It's just it's a great feeling to see these guys develop.
I was talking to a group of friends and Buckeye fans about this group playing in the TBT, and the comment one of them made was, they were fun to watch at Ohio State because obviously they won, but also one of them told the story. He said he likes them because they're such good guys, and he told the story about his son, who's now 16, after a game waiting around when Evan Turner was there, and he still has the picture of him as a 6-year-old with Evan Turner after a game. That's and cool. Aaron Kraft, David Lighty, these guys were good guys. When you were recruiting them, where did that develop? Is that the culture, the program that you and your staff developed? Do you look for character guys when you recruit? Where did that come from?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think that it's so funny. The one thing I learned in my time away these last couple of years is I could only really coach a certain type of kid, and without a doubt, those guys fell into the category of who I could coach, and it's not seeing them for a year or whatever, and how we never miss a beat. But I think that was something, just in terms of, we brought some guys in, throughout that stretch that were, maybe had a few issues here and there, but the culture of the leadership of the program made those guys better, and I think ultimately that's what it's all about right there, because they believed in the system, they believed in Ohio State, and that's why we won a lot.
Thad Matta, our guest. We're talking TBT final game tonight. A lot of Thad's former players are in the final game. Coach, I tell you, it's fun to watch the offensive output, from Evan, Diebler, these guys, but Aaron Kraft. How hot does his motor run? I mean, that guy had 7 steals against the European elite team, and you're like, 7 steals is ridiculous, even when you're young and in shape.
It's unbelievable what he's done in these games. I just laugh at times when he gets a steal, because I was sitting courtside the other night and I'm watching his eyes, and there was a play where there was like a loose ball right underneath their basket, and he dove, but he didn't dive for the ball. He dove into the opposing player's body, and when he hit him, the ball popped up, and he just flipped it up for a layup. And I don't think a lot of people probably noticed that, but in fact, I thought he broke the guy's arm. But it was, he's a winner, and you watch his eyes on defense, and it's truly amazing. Like you said, I don't know where the motor came from.
Well, tonight you're going to be watching, I assume, on television, unless you fly to Chicago. How difficult is it to sit and watch? Do you get nervous? Like when you're coaching, you have a little bit of control, not ultimate control, because the players do. But when you're just sitting there watching, do you get nervous? Do you yell at the TV? How does Thad Matta watch a game with these guys?
Well, what's funny with this group is I catch all their, I guess you could term it, idiosyncrasies, and I'm like, yep, that's what he used to do. Yep. And but I'm not. I want to say I'm nervous. I'd love to see these guys. Because I can say this because it's what it's all about. I'd love to see these guys get the money. Yeah. And we were actually talking yesterday about how many diapers this money could buy for these guys and that sort of thing. And but no, I want to say nervous. I just honestly, I sit there and I'm just so proud of them, because they've all gone on and they're still making a great living for themselves.
Yeah. I want to ask you real quick, David Lighty, when he was here his senior year, I remember you saying we ought to chisel a statue of David Lighty for everything that he's meant to the program. And if you've watched these games, they're all leaders, but in a way, David seems like the ringleader of this group. What stands out to you about David Lighty when you say his name? What comes to mind?
Winning. I mean, my man won 137 games in the Scarlet and Gray. If you think about that, and he's gone overseas. I want to say, Matt, he's won 4 Euro Cup championships or something. I was talking to a friend of mine in the NBA the other day, a head coach, and he's been watching our guys, and I said, look, I know you're trying to win the world championship, but you ought to take David Lighty, because all he does is win.
Yeah.
And but no, I think from the standpoint of David, his energy is something. I remember the first practice I ever had with him. I pulled him aside and I said, you could become the greatest defender to ever play college basketball. And a lot like Aaron. I mean, you remember, I guess it would have been his sophomore year or maybe junior year, I can't remember, but it was the year we won the NIT. He broke his foot 7 games in.
Yep.
We had to redshirt him, and everybody was like, oh, it's not a big deal. He's only averaging 10 points and 5 rebounds. And I was like, no, you don't understand what he means, because we were undefeated at the time. I think we were ranked. And then the season kind of went down, but it was solely because of David Lighty.
Wow.
So no, I just to watch his energy, and he had that dunk Thursday night in the laying down traffic, and I told him, I said, I didn't know you could still do that. He goes 1 time a game. because that was the only one I had.
Give me the ball once, I can throw it down. Coach, I wish we had more time. We could talk to
You're
you
the
all
best,
day.
Thad. Thanks.
It's just so comfortable and fun to talk to you. I'm glad life is good. If you ever find yourself in Columbus, I hope you'll stop by and see us because that is an absolute blast. Coach Thad Matta, and I feel like, Matt, Carmen's crew wins it all. It's got to be a little bit at Thad's feet.
Yeah, no question about it. And we will, a month from now, he's going to be here for getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Right there. Hopefully he'll stop by. Coach Thad Matta here on News Radio 610 WTVN. A little late, sorry. We felt like it was worth it for Coach.